Next speaker we have is Jason Kimball. If you can hear me, please unmute yourself. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to discuss COVID-19 relief funds, and I haven't been able to review the budget, see where funds are going, but my public comment's really going to be about Tampa General Hospital. If there's any funds going to TGH or to TGH doctors to consult on anything for the city. There's a dire situation going on right now at Tampa General Hospital that I don't think anybody is aware of, and I have firsthand knowledge of it. They're intubating everyone that goes into Tampa General Hospital right now as a first line of action. They're using high fatality treatment protocols, and I think that the City Council really needs to do an investigation. It might be outside the purview of this hearing, but I just think that you guys need to be made aware of this as soon as possible, that Tampa City residents are in danger when they go to Tampa General Hospital. And I think that any of the city's involvement with the hospital needs to be reviewed, and especially from a budget standpoint, any sort of funds that are going over to them. It's a dire situation. They're intubating people illegally. I'm going to follow up with this and send city council members some information about what's going on over there. But essentially, when you call 911 and you go to that hospital, you're going into a bad situation. You're not just going in to get treatment. You're going into a very bad situation. And I want to make everybody aware as soon as possible. You know, I'm just finding this out from the weekend and Thursday and Friday, things that I found out, experienced firsthand. So I appreciate you guys' time. I hope you guys have a good night. And please remember this, and please look into Tampa General Hospital and their treatment of our residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dingfelder, you're recognized.
Thank you. Just a point of order, and while we respect the First Amendment rights of everybody who calls in, I'm going to rebut that last comment. I think it's an extremely dangerous comment to be spreading to the community that they shouldn't go to Tampa General Hospital. To the contrary, Tampa General Hospital is, if not the most finest hospital in this community. It's one of the top 1 or 2 hospitals in this community. I used to serve on the board of Tampa General Hospital years ago, and there's no finer place. The doctors and staff are dedicated to saving lives, and if I was sick with COVID or anything else significant and I needed to go to a hospital, I would go to Tampa General Hospital. This is not an advertisement for TGH, but I think that that was a very dangerous comment from that individual, and people listen to ridiculous comments and you know, for some reason they don't do their own research. So anyway, I feel very passionate about that, Mr. Chairman. I rarely chime in and respond to people's comments, but that one I think was extremely dangerous. You know, with all due respect to the gentleman, he can have his own opinions, and that's all fine. This is my opinion as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Miranda, you're recognized.
I want to echo Mr. Dingfelder's remarks. I think when you see that hospitals ranked in the top 5 or 6 or 7 in different areas, from heart to diabetes to kidney to rank one of the top 10 maybe in the whole area, top 10 in Florida for sure in hospitalization, and the amount of volume that they do, the doctors and nurses. When I'm sick, and I'm not here advertising for Tampa General or any other hospital, we got great hospitals here, but Tampa General is where I go. And when I had COVID, there's where I went. I didn't stay overnight, but I was treated there and released, not once, but twice. And I can only say that I was treated with the utmost respect, not any different than anyone else that I noticed. I went through the emergency room like anyone else does, and they, for anyone, not because I'm an elected official, I was treating like any other patient. And I can tell you that it's one of the finest hospitals I've been in. Nothing wrong with St. Joseph or Advent or anyone else, but that was my choice. Like anyone else has their own personal choice. So that's all I can say. Thank you, Mr. Dingfelder.
Mr. Maniscalco, did you hand up, sir?
And just a quick fact about Tampa General Hospital, I believe it's ranked number 4 in the country for transplants. So it is nationally recognized beyond this community. Just wanted to throw that in. Thank you.
Well, I can say I've had experience at Tampa General Hospital as a police officer, getting people there. They've been shot, brutally beaten, all kind of situations. And me having COVID, I was a patient there for several days. I don't know what the caller's intent was or what knowledge he has, but I can tell you that those folks over there, they work hard over there. And I know COVID is a tough time, but most people that go to the hospital with COVID, they're pretty sick. I'm just going to tell you right now, when you got to go to the hospital with COVID, you're pretty sick. And I guess they're trying to do what they have to do, whatever their procedures are. But I can tell you, when I went there, I was sick. They did what they had to do, and I came out. Because I know several people that went there when I went there didn't come out. And I've lost several friends over the last week that didn't get vaccinated and didn't make it and went to the hospital. So we respect the caller's comments, but I just want to make it clear that Tampa General Hospital is one of the finest hospitals around the country. So we need to move on. Mr. Miranda, any more for public comment, Madam Deputy Clerk?